What's going on, guys? Jedi Dogma here, and today I want to talk about Shikigamis. That's what I want to talk about. Jujutsu Kaisen, and this is a new popular anime. It's pretty much a Demon Slayer anime. So if you're into Demon Slayer animes, I'm already recommending this to you. I think it's a good anime. I think it's not like extraordinary, but it is something that is very enjoyable. We can kind of just sit down casually and watch and get through without having to worry about complex philosophy like Ghost in the Shell series or other more avant-garde animes that have been produced in the past. It's pretty standard. You've got your magical school, your trainees that are training the main character up to become a stronger or the strongest in the world, in their magical realm or world. I'm kind of like misquoting that. It's really not. It's so the magic system. I say magic, but what I really mean is the system that they use for magic. It could be mana, could be this or that, but in this one, it's called sorcery, I guess is what they would call it. So there are a few moments where the plot armor kind of takes me out of it for a bit, but for the most part, I think this is a good anime. I think it's well written and it's got a solid foundation, and it can be somewhat formulaic and very standardized. So if you like that familiarity that you constantly see in other animes that are adapted for television and things like that, that are serialized based off the mangaka artist's original source, you will enjoy this because it is pretty much the same, more of that. I think there was one thing that kind of confused me a little bit in the beginning, was when there's two characters in the beginning that I thought would get more screen time and more lines, but it kind of felt weird how they were taken care of and handled. They kind of were just left behind in the dust as the series progressed, and you'll see what I mean if you go and watch the 13 episodes that are out right now on Crunchyroll. I thought that was a little bit abrupt and a little bit awkward. Other than that, the entire anime was pretty smooth experience. I didn't really feel very distracted for any reason at all. I think it's a fun watch. I'm definitely going to be watching the second season to find out more about the Jujutsu sorcery and how exactly this stuff works in their world, or dive deeper into the more complicated matters that they might want to get into. So the first season was kind of just setting up the main character, setting up the world, and you kind of see him grow a little bit. You get to see him meet new friends eventually towards the end of the season, and then you get to see some really cool fights. So I have to say, the action sequences are really good in this anime. It's pretty much from start to finish. There was a little bit of a lag in the middle, but other than that, it was pretty much all action. If you like action scenes, you're going to enjoy this anime as well. Sometimes the comedic relief can kind of step in at unwarranted times. They kind of drop these over-the-top comedic scenes where there really shouldn't be, I don't think, that kind of humor, right? Because it's like a serious scene, it's a dangerous scene, and you've got characters that are in harrowing danger, and all of a sudden you have this weird, like, I don't know what I would call it, but I guess like an aloofness of the characters, like a chibified stuff. You know how they like to do their scenes where they kind of just turn everyone into a chibi and then make them say something clever or witty or funny. Yeah, I thought it was a little bit unwarranted. It did not belong in that scene, and that was a little bit distracting. Again, I think the plot armor was a little thick. There were some moments where some of the more important characters were saved at the very last second, and I know that's kind of a standard thing. You can't really have your main characters dying off. However, I'm speaking from my experience, you can never go wrong with a little bit of surprise thrown into anything. You can keep it PG 18 or 13 or whatever. It's still, you can still pull that off, I think. But other than that, I think there's not much else to say on this anime. Definitely go check it out for yourself. See if it's worth your time. If it is something that you're okay with kind of casually sitting through, then feel free to check it out. For people who are a little bit more hardcore, who are into the more complicated gestures in anime that some of these other anime tend to touch on, like sensitive topics and things like that, while still being very vast and having this a lot of world building. I don't know if this is for you. This is really just a shonen at its finest. So, ideally we're looking at a very young audience group here from like 18 to 24, maybe younger than that are watching this anime and, that are into it. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Leave some comments down below. Leave a like if you like this video. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Why do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Jedi Dogma signing out.